Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here. Thanks for your service to our country. I would argue, Mr. Secretary, that President Trump got elected last November on two issues, fixing the unmitigated disaster at our southern border and fixing the economy. And obviously you play a big role in fixing the economy and working with us on that. Go back a year ago, we had high inflation, high interest rates, unaffordable energy costs, supply chain frustrations. And that factored into people going to the polls and wanting a change on the economy. And as we think about the bill that we've put together, the One Big Beautiful Bill, there's lots of things in this bill that help this economy. But fundamental to that is making permanent things like 199A, bonus depreciation, research and development tax credit, the affordable housing tax credit, unleashing American energy, all included in this bill. And I think we predicate this bill on how do we have predictability and certainty long-term in this economy. And those investments that are made by small, medium, and large companies, whether you're a plumber in Peoria, Illinois, or you're a Fortune 100 company, you want predictability and certainty. And as been alluded to earlier, if we do nothing and this bill doesn't pass, you're going to have $4.5 trillion of tax increases. And if you think there's uncertainty in the economy now, wait until that happens. And so the other, I think, observation that's been made is there's a lot of money and resources sitting on the sidelines waiting to be invested. But we need that predictability and certainty. And I would argue we do that in this bill. I wanted to ask you if you can comment on what this bill will do to the economy and on predictability and certainty.
Good, Congressman, thank you for that. And I would also like to talk about what this bill will not do to the economy. Because what we saw in the tax bill of under the Biden administration, which I believe was immoral, was rampant inflation. Rampant inflation, which is the best way to steal from working Americans. And the basket of goods and services that working Americans require had a substantially higher inflation rate than the 21% reported by the Bureau of Statistics. So in excess of 30% of purchasing power was stolen from working families. We had, in the summer of 2024, we had a record amount of food bank usage in the United States of America at the same time that the previous administration's tax bill, we had a record number of trips to Europe. And that is not an America we want. Record trips to Europe, record food bank usage. So anyone who voted for that tax bill, that was the outcome. What we are doing is trying to get back, as you said, to President Trump's private sector job growth creation. And the tax bill will incentivize private sector growth. Equally important, this administration's economic plan is a three-legged stool. It is trade, it is taxes, and it is deregulation. And what we saw under the Biden administration that created the great inflation was we saw the impetus in spending as the government flooded the zone, but we saw substantial regulatory increase, so a demand shock was met with supply constraints. What we are doing with the help of this committee and congressmen like you, we are creating a private sector demand shock that is going to be met with a deregulatory release. So we will go back to 2018 and 2019, we will have strong growth and it will be non-inflationary.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I yield back.